everyone, and welcome back to the MBTV channel with me, Natalie Sherlock,
and me, Ben Povey. Hello.
Hello. So, as some of you may remember, a while back, Ben and I did an interview where he interviewed me about my Asperger's, and I am now returning the favour and interviewing him on his cerebral palsy. So, Ben.
Sorry, before we start the interview, I'd like to say sorry for taking so long in this video because
the delay.
I put up the trailer for ages ago. And, anyway, sorry.
But just stuff kept happening. So, okay, now question one: what is cerebral palsy, and how did you sort of come to acquire it?
Okay, so I acquired it when I was younger, just born. Now, there are lots of different cases of cerebral palsy.
Yeah.
In my case, I suffer with something called hemiplegia.
Yes.
Now, cerebral palsy is, in my case, it affects the left side of the brain.
Yes.
Which controls the right side of the body. So my left side is paralysed.
Of the brain.
Of the brain. The left side of the brain is paralysed.
Yes.
So, and I acquired it. I had meningitis. My immune system was very weak, and that left me with cerebral palsy.
Right.
So that's the story.
Okay. So, what are some of the daily struggles of having cerebral palsy?
Well, I would say the daily struggles are just things that people mostly take for granted, like pouring a drink, or I don't know, even getting dressed is a challenge.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff.
Yeah, things that you have to do with your hands.
Yeah, opening a drawer. Yeah, it's difficult. Switching off the light. I can think of hundreds of things. But
yeah. So, how do you sort of navigate everyday problems? How do you cope with them?
Well, it kind of, you find a different way of doing it. So, with opening, say if I'm making a cup of tea or opening a drawer, I will, for opening a drawer, I will, it just takes me more time. So I will grip it with my hand and then, use my fingers instead of my muscle.
Right.
But I'm trying to work out ways of using my muscle because there is a way that I've got stronger through an operation. And I think Natalie's got a question.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you had an operation to. So just explain your operation to us.
Okay, so in simple terms, the operation I had was to lengthen the tendons in the wrist.
Right.
Now that controls the function of hand movement and all that.
Yeah.
And it basically gave me more strength in this bit of the hand. I don't know if the camera can see it.
Yeah.
And this muscle here, fun fact, is called the flexocarpionaris.
Yes. Excellent.
Try saying that 3 times fast.
Yeah. Flexocarpionaris, flexocarpionaris, flexocarpionaris. Excellent. I'm imagining you didn't actually mean literally say it 3 times, but there you go.
Yes.
So I understand you also suffer from dyslexia, and just tell us a little bit about that.
Again, dyslexia can come in many different ways.
Yes.
For me, which is very common, I get mixed up with my B's and D's. That's the common one. But this one is my brain doesn't process it. The one that I have. which I think is rare. I don't know how many people have it. But like if I'm reading something, I will have to read it again and again. And then if I read a line, I'll forget that line, and then I have to read it again, and yeah.
So it's not just the actual dyslexia; it's also sort of your memory.
Yeah, it's
right.
like that part of my memory is just not right.
Right, I see. So what would you what do you think about the care you received?
What do I think about care? Can I just go back to when
yes.
I had the
operation?
No, the making a drink.
Oh yes, yes.
So making a drink, what I would do is I would, if I was making a cup of tea, I would put the kettle in the sink. Right. This is going to sound really weird for you guys, but this is like a method that I've learned. So I would put the kettle in the sink. Well, I'd boil it first, obviously.
Yeah.
And then put the kettle in the sink. Then put the cup in the sink, and then pour it, obviously.
Right. So
but because it's in the sink, it's more balanced.
Yeah, it doesn't spill.
Yeah.
And if it does spill, it doesn't go everywhere.
Yeah, and don't fill the cup up all the way with water.
No.
That's a tip.
Yes.
I would
yeah.
give.
Yeah. So yes, going back to the care you received when you were in the hospital and throughout your life, how do you feel that has been for you?
Well, I know a lot of people have been quite disappointed in the NHS care. But what I would say to that is the NHS is struggling at the moment with so many things. It's like budgets have been cut.
Yes, yeah.
The nurses and doctors have to work overtime, minimum wage. And so I just be fair with them. It's very difficult, So.
Yeah.
But I have to say that when I had the operation, they were so kind, as in explaining everything to me in simple terms so I would understand it, and they would be just patient with me if I had any questions, and yeah, they were really good. They knew what they were talking about.
Well, that's good. So what would you say to anyone else in a similar or the same situation?
I would probably say, there are other ways of doing everyday things.
Yeah.
And everyone has their own way, so don't, if you don't want to copy my way, then, everyone has their own method. So find your own method, and, it will work.
Brilliant. So you went through some bullying at school. Just tell us a bit about that.
Okay, so this is where I'm probably going to get emotional. So sorry about that if I do. So I was bullied in kind of lots of different ways, emotionally, and people would steal my stuff. Like I got my laptop stolen with all my work on there, so I had to redo all my tests and everything.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So and then they would call me names which I can't mention, family friendly channel and all that.
Yeah.
And they would physically punch me sometimes. And yeah, that kind of stuff. But what I would say to those who are what I would say to those who are being bullied is there are counsellors. You can go to counselling. I did, and it's definitely helped, because when it another thing I want to mention is when I came out of that school, it affected me psychologically as well and emotionally, because I went into a really dark place in depression, and would like only watch really dark movies and be like Grim Reaper. Like I would have my background, my screensaver, as in school on the computer was a Grim Reaper, and that's like the worst you can get. So
yeah, but it wasn't all bad news. There was a happy ending because you moved schools.
Yeah,
which is very lucky.
But that's what I'm saying. Like even at my new school where I wasn't getting bullied, it still affected me psychologically, and I was still being affected when I had the Grim Reaper background.
Right.
But
yeah.
Anyway, they were so good there. Because they had a counsellor, and that counsellor helped me. So I recommend counselling. If you are struggling with anything, I recommend counselling. They just sort of help you through your problems and help like see your problems in a different light, like from a different perspective.
Right.
And that helps. So
okay,
definitely recommend it.
Yeah. Well, so where did the whole idea for the YouTube channel sort of come from?
Okay, so the YouTube channel came from, obviously, again, I mentioned depression. So I was just sort of, to put it simply, I was hiding, like myself. I was like hiding behind a character. It was still me, but I was like just hiding my pain and hiding my emotions, and that's like the worst thing you can do.
Yes.
And like, so another thing I would say is don't keep it all bottled up. Talk about it with a friend, talk about it with a family member. Please don't keep it. And you can comment on this video, you can talk about it with us.
Yeah.
And we will give you our best advice. And we will try to reply to every comment we get.
Yep.
And like, so I would make videos just to hide, and then as it got more into the videos, I decided, I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna be like emotionally happy. So I'm happy now because I did the counselling.
Yeah.
And then I did the videos for fun. So now it's all for fun, and I do it to entertain you.
Yeah.
Rather than hiding. So yeah.
So final question: where do you see the channel going in the future?
Well, again, to entertain you guys and to educate you guys as well, not just to entertain you, to educate you on our disabilities, and that not all disabilities are bad. They can be used as an advantage.
Yeah.
And not just educate you on other disabilities as well, because through my school years there was a lot of people with different disabilities. So I've learned many things, and so just to educate you, and hopefully we'll be starting an action comedy series soon. So,
yes,
and to keep
that's in the pipeline.
Yeah, and to keep you entertained, and lots more stories to come. We're working on a story.
Yeah. And Wow, thank you so much, Ben. I hope you all enjoyed that video. I hope you all learned something and are able to take something from it. Please like, comment and subscribe.
And give this video a thumbs up.
Yes, a big thumbs up. So, thank you. I think that concludes our video.
And I can't believe I didn't cry. Like, normally when I talk about this, I cry. So, yeah.
Well, you did very well. So, all there is left to say now is goodbye, God bless, and continue being awesome.